This is not a Mario movie review. First off, because, well, number one, there's been about 12 million Mario movie reviews posted on YouTube this weekend alone, and there's no point of me pouring a thimbleful of water in the ocean at this point, but more so, too, because I just haven't seen it yet. I want to, obviously. I've played and beaten every mainline Mario game ever, except for Mario 3D Land and New Super Mario Bros. 2, because I never owned a 3DS, but all the rest, and most of the RPGs, Mario Karts, even some of the sports games, and so on, I just haven't seen it yet because I never really feel like braving opening weekend crowds for any movie anymore. I'm just too misanthropic for that. I'll probably see it, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But I nevertheless wanted to comment on what box office returns make the now very likely future of the so-called Nintendo Cinematic Universe. What I want and what I don't want. Because I've seen so many people, both here on YouTube and on forums and wherever else, pitching their ideas for how future Mario films, Donkey Kong films, Kirby, Star Fox, Zelda, Metroid, Splatoon, I don't know if they want to dig real deep on this, Earthbound, F-Zero, Kid Icarus, and so on and so forth, could all eventually unite into an Avengers-style Super Smash Bros. Cinematic event. I just feel this urge as a Nintendo fanboy dating back to the 1980s, this urge welling deep from inside me to make a quick video just saying, "Oh, Jesus, God, no." Let's not go that way. Now, I'll add a caveat here and say that I'm more than fine with a sort of mini Mario cinematic universe. Although I guess they'll have to come up with a different acronym for that. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm guessing that neither Luigi nor Donkey Kong are tragically killed. So if they want to spin this movie off not only into immediate sequels, Mario Movie 2, Mario Movie 3, and so on, but also a Luigi's Mansion movie, Donkey Kong Country series, all great. I'm all for it. Thumbs up. Go for it. Hell, there could be a Wario as a possibility. Wario spin-offs. Heck, maybe even a Donkey Kong Country spin-off could do a spin-off into a Diddy Kong series if, say, WizPig showed up, something like that. I don't know, but that's all fine with me. Whatever they want to do. Make 10 Mario-verse movies, 20 Mario-verse movies. I'll watch them. That's all good. But it's with all the other non-Mario material that I hope they don't feel the need to stick with what the Mario movie is. That specifically being an animated PG-rated comedy adventure, because they would pretty much have to if the idea would be for everyone to eventually unite in a shared movie. They would all have to at least be consistent in style, or at least in medium, if you think of live action and animation as being fundamentally different mediums, which I do. Now, there are certain franchises I think the style of this movie would be appropriate for, like Kirby, I guess. Maybe Splatoon. I don't know, honestly, I never played the Splatoon games, but they look like they'd be fine for this kind of thing. But even when you get to something like Star Fox, I mean, obviously it has the inherent silliness of being a bunch of anthropomorphic animals flying spaceships, and it would need to be animated not to look ridiculous. But even with that franchise, I'd want Andros to receive a much more straight-faced and genuinely sinister depiction than what I'm sure Bowser gets in this Mario movie. Never mind the backstory with Fox McCloud's father being betrayed and murdered by Pigma Dengar. Maybe DreamWorks could do a good job with this kind of thing, going by the aerial dragon dogfights and emotional moments in the How to Train Your Dragon movies. But then you get to maybe the big one, Legend of Zelda. And I'll just say straight up that the idea of Zelda's big screen debut being a wacky animated comedy makes me writhe in agony. Now, I'm not saying animation in general be an impossible medium for it to be adapted in. Obviously, there's great animated fantasy adventures. You know, Princess Mononoke is an all-time favorite of mine. But in my heart of hearts, I would want live-action Zelda. And I've read people online saying there's no way that would work, and I'm like, why the hell not? Go watch the new Dungeons & Dragons movie that just came out the other week. It presents worlds and imagery every bit as out there as anything in Hyrulean lore, and does so just fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can stick pointy ears on actors, real ears. I don't think that's too difficult for the makeup department to handle. Are people saying this because of the Zora, the Rito, the Gorons, etc.? Because, I mean, we've had believable-looking CGI characters on screen forever now. Heck, we met Jar Jar Binks damn near a quarter century ago. perhaps an unfortunate meeting, sure, but the visual depiction was just fine then, and it's just gotten better and better since. So I see no reason that we couldn't animate like a few blue fish people or brown rock people into a Zelda movie, and yeah, everything else, I see no reason that anything about the settings or world in Death Mountain, Hyrule Castle, Hyrule Field, Zora Lake. Yeah, I see no reason that any of that can't be in a live-action movie, and yeah, that's what I would want, live action. And I'd want it tonally pitched at a pretty similar level to Jackson's Lord of the Rings, which is to say, not totally absent moments of humor and levity, but a fundamentally serious at its core high fantasy epic. And like I just said with Andros, but now even more so, I certainly wouldn't want anything even resembling a whiff of humor about the character of Ganondorf. And now, I know Breath of the Wild is the highest selling Zelda game, but my pick for the story for the first Zelda film anyway would be, and yeah, I know this is probably a basic bitch take, but I'm just spitballing ideas here, would be a loose adaptation of Ocarina of Time. Just, the pure beating heart of the Zelda mythos is present there in that game. You'd need to get, of course, a couple of actors, younger and older actors, for both Link and Zelda, and maybe Malon too. But with this whole cast of characters, everyone from Ganondorf to Impa, Saria, Darunia, Nabooru, Ruto, Malon and Talon, that damn owl, the other Kokiri, the twin Rova witches, etc., etc. There's more than enough characters for a film, easily. And with everything from the death of the Great Deku Tree, the backstory of the goddesses, and the origins of Hyrule and the Triforce, Link's goodbye to Saria, getting eaten alive by and escaping from a whale, if they want to use that, Ganondorf's uprising, usurping of the throne, rise to power, Link getting sent to the future, awakening sages, battling demons underneath Kakariko Village, investigating Ganondorf's history in the Gerudo Valley, Sheik being revealed to be Zelda, final battles against Ganon. They would barely have to make anything up except for a dialogue for Link, of course, but otherwise the task of a Zelda movie based on Ocarina of Time would be more in whittling everything down to a 2-hour runtime. But yeah, doing all this in live action would make it unable to really cross over to the now established comedic animated Mario universe. Unless, like, how obviously Lego Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman are different versions of the same character. They could just have a different animated comedic version of Link show up to meet Mario. One who's obviously a different Link from a different continuity than the so-called core Link from the actual Legend of Zelda film series. And then there's Metroid. And while I know Nintendo is never going to release an R-rated film under their banner, I'll be honest, my ideal Metroid movie would be a live-action, hard PG-13 and dead serious, like as deadly serious as Ridley Scott's original 1979 Alien sci-fi thriller. Like, I'd want a director like, Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina on it, or, someone of that caliber. Like, I'm picturing something like the Nintendo logo fades up at the beginning over black, right? And we're already, as it fades up, hearing flames, screams, blaster fire, and then just hard cut to Ridley and the space pirates attacking Samus's village when she's a child, right? Just a massacre. Like, the first shot of the movie after the opening Nintendo logo is a hard cut to Ridley's tail ripping a dude in half. Pan out to just a goddamn massacre, like something out of a horror movie. Samus's parents are just barely able to hide her before getting killed themselves. It's horrible. Then cut to adult Samus. My fan casting would be maybe like Sydney Sweeney, doing whatever, I don't know, probably with the Federation police at that point. And this would be before Mother Brain goes rogue, when Mother Brain is still a unit working for the Federation, right? And then this would lead us down a 2-hour road to an eventual ending where Samus has the iconic orange suit. She's a rogue bounty hunter. She's battled Metroids and Ridley and Mother Brain, etc. Now, beyond that, how you'd adapt a game franchise primarily about exploration and isolation and hunting down energy tanks and missile packs into a coherent 3-act screenplay structure, that I don't know. That's for people smarter than me to work out. But all I'm saying here is that I want a Metroid movie with genuinely freaky monsters, real body horror, just an atmosphere of pure dread, no pun intended, not an animated Illumination comedy so that its version of Samus can eventually meet Illumination's version of Mario in a crossover. In fact, the very idea makes me want to go full Mother Brain at the end of Super Metroid. And I mean, beyond that, what about watching the fumbling and just screwing up of the DC universe and the Dark universe, if you even remember that, and all the rest, even Star Wars under Disney's banner as of late, makes people think this is the route to go by default, you know? Marvel's success with the shared universe thing was, if anything, the exception that proved the rule, that rule being that this kind of thing rarely works. And now I say all this as a huge hypocrite, I should point out, because just the other weekend I myself got excited about the prospect, when the Dungeons & Dragons movie came out, the prospect of a Forgotten Realms cinematic universe, so, you know, what can I say? Never mind my terrible takes. And of course, if every word I just said in this video is wrong and they do make a Smash Bros. Movie in 2026 or 2027 or whatever, just like people have pitched, and it's a $2 billion hit and everyone loves it, feel free to come back to this video and comment and point and laugh at how wrong I was. But at least as of now, in April 2023, that's where I stand on it. Future Nintendo property films, obviously a huge yes for me, including the possibility of a sort of mini Mario-verse stemming from this one initial film. But all the Nintendo films from every franchise being PG-rated comedy animated adventures, all so that they can just feed into an eventual mega crossover. To that, I would have to say,
Jesus God, no.